So Ren and I came across a brand new study on short sleepers, who are basically people who need 4 to 6 hours of sleep a night and wake up more refreshed and like high functioning than the rest of us.
Yeah, they're sometimes called super sleepers for that reason, because their bodies restore themselves in half the time as the rest of us that need, like they always say, 8 to 10 hours to wake up and not feel tired.
So when we sleep, our bodies and minds eliminate toxins, solidify memories, and generate energy for the next day. And for most people, that does take 8.5 hours. And I guess if you don't hit those hours, you don't fully recover. Like the most that you could recover is 90% is what they say, which is obviously why we're so like tired all the time. But these short sleepers always hit 100% in those 4 to 6 hours. Like they can sleep at 12, wake up at 4, and feel perfect.
Beyond even just the time savings of it, I'm just so jealous that they always wake up feeling refreshed. And there's actually conspiracies that Trump and Obama and weirdly Madonna all have this. I don't know what they're basing this on.
No, it makes you think of like what other high functioning people throughout history were short sleepers that we never
Leonardo
thought.
da Vinci is another one.
I weirdly always thought that I was a short sleeper when I was younger, because I like was, you know, like a night owl, like only like could sleep at 2, wake up at 8, feel great. Like I was so proud of it, especially like in college and like your early 20s when you don't need sleep. But I have realized that I'm most definitely not a short sleeper. Like now I need to hit 8 hours to feel like I can do anything.
No, when we met, you famously didn't need a lot of sleep. I do think it could change with age too.
Yeah, I'm coming to terms with it. Like the day that we found this study, I was influenced by our own piece to go to sleep at like 10:50
Whoa.
that night. And it was like the earliest I'd slept in years, and I like felt really good in the morning.
Discussing sleep always makes me think of AP Psych class with Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And like on the bottom are your basic needs like food, water, shelter, and sleep. And you cannot achieve the higher levels, which are like friendships, love, like self-esteem, unless those basic necessities are taken care of.
Yes, sleep is so clearly like a basic need that people sometimes forget about, but like you can actually torture people with sleep deprivation. But I also feel like since obviously you sleep at night when the day is done, like you're done with work, you're done with chores, you have to choose sleep over like having free time, which is always like really hard for me. So I guess revenge bedtime procrastination is a thing where people like stay up to get back at their busy schedules throughout the day.
Oh, I actually remember at 60 Minutes, I sat in on Leslie's interview with Trevor Noah, and he talked about this. He's like always exhausted and like really doesn't sleep that much, and he's on the road like doing all these shows. And Leslie's like, okay, well, why don't you just prioritize going to bed? And he was like, because Leslie, like the only time I'm alone to myself, the only time I can do whatever I want is at night. So don't you want to just like stay up and like out of spite, like not sleep so I can like do whatever I want? And she was like, I've never been like that in my life. And it was like awkward.
I relate to him. So
yeah, I guess it's always been pretty easy for me to go to bed, or like if I'm watching a show or reading a book or something, like I could just like turn it off and like nothing kind of comes between me and getting 8 hours of sleep.
I do feel like the culture is changing to prioritize sleep more now. Like people are like tracking their sleep, and everyone has like Aura rings now. So commercializing sleep, obviously everyone is now like, oh, sleeping is trendy, like being rested, like that's different than how it used to be.
No, I remember when we moved to New York, people would brag about how little sleep they got. Like that was impressive. So I am glad at least we're shifting away from that. Although these like super sleepers would get to do both.
So apparently these short sleepers have like genetic mutations that allow them to function like this. And scientists just discovered the 5th short sleep mutation in a protein called SIC3 that affects your metabolism and circadian rhythm.
And through the study, they tracked a bunch of these short sleepers, including some that are in their golden years. Like they talked about a woman who was in her 70s who still only sleeps 5 hours a night.
So we spoke to Dr. Yinghu Fu, a professor of neurology and genetics at UCSF, who's the lead researcher of this landmark study.
What did you, I guess, discover in your research about these short sleepers?
So over the years now, we have collected more than 100 of these people. And what we found is that this is a group of people who lifelong or most of their life only need 4 to 6 hours of sleep a day. And when they're not sleeping, they're very active. They're usually very optimistic, very resilient. They don't have jet lag problem like we do. They can travel through many different time zones. And some of them have very high pain threshold, means that when they have surgery or dental work, they don't need Novocaine or, like painkillers. Yeah, and some of them have very, very good memories and they usually are like really high functional people. And most interestingly, actually, they seem to live a long, healthy life. So these are people that we have been studied since, like I say, maybe really started from 2009 when so many people came to us until now.
But we know that for like us regular sleepers, we need obviously 8 hours of sleep because we do go
Yes.
through so many different like sleep cycles and phases. So how does that work for short sleepers? Like what's different in their brains that they don't need all of these cycles that we do?
They also need all those cycles, just like we do. And we haven't really figured out what is shorter because when we look at the people, we didn't find clear answer. They get better restorative sleep than we get in 8 hours. A couple years ago, we published two papers. We used Alzheimer as example to prove the concept that their sleep is actually help protect them from many diseases. And that's why they sleep less and live a long, healthy life.
And how common is this in humans? Like, do we have an estimate?
I would say very rare, but not more than 1 in 10,000, not more than that. So
Wow, that
yeah.
is really rare.
Yeah, it's pretty rare. And a lot of people email me or came to me, and after we look at it's not truly nature short sleeper. So we have pretty strict criteria. I think what happened is a lot of people do things to make themselves sleep less, like they
Yeah.
eat certain food or they do certain things or whatever way to make them
Yeah,
sleep less.
coffee.
Yeah, so that's not really true. Actually, the short sleepers, they don't drink tea or coffee or anything. They don't drink anything to help them. They don't do that. Yeah. Yeah.
That is
And do they
crazy.
dream? Like, do short sleepers dream at all? Is their sleep different than ours? Do we
I
know?
don't, we haven't asked that. That's a good question. I think their sleep is just like ours.
Are
It's
they
just
like, would you
somehow
say they're like heavier or lighter sleepers or anything?
so these people, they usually, almost all of them say that when they go to bed, their head hit the pillow, they are gone. And when
Yeah.
they wake up, they go. So they are really sound sleeper, very, very good sleeper.
We know you have to be born with this mutation. Like you either have it or you
Well,
don't.
yeah, most of people we study are really carry mutation, one single mutation, but I think it's not entirely impossible that people could have different mutation and maybe
Right.
milder effect and all work together and make them this way. That's possible.
And so we understand this is your area of expertise, specifically neurology and genetics. So will you continue to do research to try to
Yes.
identify these mutations? Like what's the
Mhm.
next phase?
So right now, the lab have many different directions, right? We continue to recruit short sleepers to participate, and we want to continue to screen for mutations. And we're trying to understand the mechanism of why do they have better sleep than the rest of us. Because if we can understand that, then my goal eventually is to help not just people with sleep problem, but everybody get good night's sleep, right? Because we have enough data to prove that if we get good night's sleep, we can actually live a long, healthy life, right? Essentially, these short sleepers prove to us, right? So essentially, that's our goal, right? We want to get there. Hopefully, I can reach there before I retire.
Do you
Exactly.
anticipate like a commercialization of this? Will there one day be a way for us to all like take a pill and sleep really, really well and be these super active, like amazing humans?
Yes, that's what I want to go that route, right? I want to have a big research team, but I also want to see if I can figure out something very simple, right? Like, let's think of it as a supplement or whatever, right? To
Yeah.
replace caffeine or better than caffeine, right? Because caffeine, it make you awake, but you have a backlash problem, and it doesn't really help you with your restorative function that we need to do, our bodies need to do when we sleep. So this pill or whatever supplement we take can help us do all those things like the short sleeper and live a healthy life. So that's what I want to do.
That's so appealing because we'd have like double the amount of in the workday to
Exactly.
do
Well,
things.
if you want to go, if you want to work, that's great. But you can also have more time to enjoy
Yeah.
many other things, right? And I think also economically will be a huge impact, right? We don't spend
Yeah.
so much money in fighting against diseases, and it's just unbelievable. I think unbelievable potential for future humanity.